Home Studio Start podcast.
Welcome to the Home Studio Start podcast. Okay, imagine this. You're standing on stage, lights are on, crowds buzzing. You're about to deliver a show-stopping performance. Or maybe you're in your home studio, just about to hit record on that crucial vocal track. And in that split second, you face a choice. Do you go for the total freedom of movement, cut in the cord, or do you stick with the rock-solid reliability of a wired connection? Today, we're taking a deep dive into that very dilemma, wireless versus wired mics. Which is the best choice? For this deep dive, we've looked at a fantastic source, a really insightful article by Rodrigo Marquez. He's the founder of Home Studio Start. And Rodrigo is an absolute veteran in music production. We're talking over 25 years in the game, since 1997. He's mastered tools like SoundForge and Samplitude Pro, produced albums for artists all over the globe, and his guiding principle at Home Studio Start is beautifully simple: home recording made easy. Job up. So we're going to unpack his expertise, pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge to help you make the right decision for your sound.
Yeah, absolutely. Our mission today is really to cut through all the noise, those heated debates, the tech that's always changing. We want to unravel the mysteries and just lay out the facts about both microphone types. So by the end of this deep dive, you should have a really crystal clear understanding of which mic truly reigns supreme for your specific sonic adventures, making sure your audio always hits the perfect note.
Okay, so let's jump right into the big question. So the one that always comes up first, is a wireless mic actually better than a wired mic when we're talking about, raw audio quality? You'd think it would be straightforward, but it's often way more nuanced than people expect.
Absolutely. Audio quality is, it's the top concern for most people, right? And wired microphones, they've long been seen as the gold standard. Because of that direct, uncompromised connection, they deliver a consistently reliable sound. That's why they're the go-to in controlled environments like professional recording studios. I mean, think about it. When you're capturing delicate vocals or intricate instrumentals, a wired mic ensures that the audio is as pristine and true to the original sound as humanly possible, without any compression or digital interference messing with it.
Right, no extra processing in the way.
Exactly. Now, with wireless mics, the audio quality, it can really swing wildly. It depends a lot on the quality of the system itself. High-end wireless mics, the expensive ones, they're engineered to minimize interference. And they can absolutely deliver sound that's comparable to their wired counterparts. But the budget models, they might introduce unwanted background noise or, even worse, suffer from disruptive dropouts. Because of signal interference. You've probably heard it, that sudden silence or burst of static.
Oh, yeah, definitely heard that before. So what's the practical takeaway here for you, the listener? If you're maybe a podcaster or a voiceover artist recording in a quiet, controlled space, a wired mic is probably going to give you that consistent, flawless audio you're looking for. And often at a lower cost, too. But if you're a dynamic performer, maybe an instructor, or just someone who needs to move freely, then investing in a high-quality wireless microphone could be a real game changer.
It really comes down to balancing that need for mobility with how critical absolute sound fidelity is for your specific situation.
Okay, but let's pivot to what makes wireless mics so tempting for so many people. That undeniable freedom of movement. This is where it gets really exciting for performers, right?
Oh, definitely. And it's fascinating how wireless microphones utterly revolutionize how performers interact. Not just with the audience, but with the stage itself. Imagine a lead singer roaming freely across a huge stage, really connecting with everyone, no cable holding them back.
Yeah, that changes the whole dynamic.
It totally enhances their stage presence. Or think about actors in a theater production, moving seamlessly across the stage, every single word heard clearly, no matter where they end up.
That's crucial for theater.
Absolutely. And beyond the performance itself, there's a huge practical benefit, too. Wireless mics drastically reduce cable clutter, that spaghetti monster we all hate, and they significantly cut down on setup time. For sound engineers, that means less time managing long cable runs and more time focusing on, actually optimizing the audio quality.
That's a great point about the engineer. I honestly hadn't even thought about that side of it, less clutter for them. But this freedom, it isn't without its potential pitfalls, is it? We've all heard horror stories. What about those unseen hurdles like interference? I can just picture a singer hitting a high note and then silence.
Yeah, that's the nightmare scenario, absolutely. Right. While wireless mics offer incredible convenience, they can sometimes fall prey to interference issues. They work using radio frequencies, right? Which are basically invisible highways for data. But these highways can get congested. They can get disrupted by other electronic devices or too many systems crammed into the same frequency bands. or even physical obstructions like walls and furniture can mess with the signal. And that's what leads to those dreaded dropouts or static.
Right. The signal just can't get through cleanly.
Exactly. For instance, at a big live concert, a wireless mic might run into interference from other wireless systems being used on stage, or even the venue's Wi-Fi network. It's like an invisible battle for bandwidth happening all around.
Wow.
Contrast that with a wired mic. It's a direct physical connection, like an unshakable link. It pretty much guarantees a stable, reliable signal, completely free from those kinds of external worries.
So, okay, if you're thinking about going wireless, how do you, mitigate these interference issues? Are there proactive steps you can take to avoid that silence during the high note moment?
Definitely. There are ways. One key strategy is to opt for systems that operate on less crowded frequency bands. You'll often see ranges like 2.4 gigahertz or 5.8 gigahertz mentioned. Think of 2.4 gigahertz as like the Wi-Fi superhighway, very common, but it can also get jammed up with Bluetooth, microwaves, other Wi-Fi stuff. 5.8 gigahertz often offers clearer lanes, especially in busy places, though maybe slightly less range through walls and things.
Gotcha.
Plus, many modern wireless systems have these really smart automatic frequency selection features. They can actually scan the airwaves and switch to the clearest frequency available automatically, which is incredibly helpful.
Oh, that sounds useful.
Yeah, imagine a presenter at some bustling corporate event. A thoughtful choice of frequency band and regular equipment checks can make all the difference, ensuring their audio is flawless.
So it really comes down to evaluating your specific needs and the environment you'll actually be using the mic in. That'll guide you in choosing between wireless convenience and wired reliability, making sure your audio stays clear and uninterrupted. Okay, so we've covered sound quality, we've covered mobility, but what about the nuts and bolts, actually using them day to day, the setup, the ongoing care? Let's talk practicalities.
Right, the practical side. When we look at setup complexity, wired microphones are generally much simpler, like way simpler. You literally just plug them into your mixer or audio interface and boom, you're ready to go.
Plug and play.
Pretty much. There's no pairing devices, no scanning for frequencies, and definitely no worrying about whether your batteries are charged. Plus, they're often cheaper too, which is appealing for quick, simple setups.
Yeah, definitely simpler.
Wireless mics, on the other hand, well, they require a bit more initial effort. You need to sync the transmitter, that's the part sending the signal, usually on the mic or a belt pack with the receiver, the box that plugs into your sound system.
Right, the syncing part.
Then you have to select the right frequency, make sure there's no interference. It just takes a little more thought up front. However, once they are set up properly, that unparalleled freedom of movement really shines, especially in dynamic environments where, having cables snaking everywhere is just not practical.
And what about the long term? Like once you own them, what are the maintenance needs for each type? Are they different?
Yeah, they are quite different in terms of maintenance. Wired mics generally require less attention. Mostly it's just doing routine checks for cable wear and tear, looking for fraying, bent connectors, that sort of thing. Pretty basic.
Yeah.
Wireless mics, though, they demand more vigilance. You absolutely need to routinely check battery levels and replace them as needed to avoid those awful, unexpected cutouts mid-performance or mid-recording.
Oh, yeah. Don't want the mic dying.
Trust me, you don't. You also need to monitor the receiver status lights and ensure the chosen frequencies remain clear of interference. That's crucial for maintaining sound quality. A good tip is investing in decent rechargeable batteries and a dedicated charging station. You see that in a lot of professional setups, and it really helps manage the battery situation.
That makes sense. Rechargeables seem like a must for regular wireless use. Okay, now for the big one. The one that influences so many decisions. The cost. Which option is lighter on the wallet? I imagine a lot of people immediately think wireless equals freedom, but maybe don't fully grasp the setup involved and how that plus the tech itself might add to the cost compared to just plugging in a wire. Is that fair?
That's a really great point. And yeah, generally speaking, wireless microphones tend to be significantly more expensive than their wired counterparts. It's mainly because of all that extra technology involved, the sophisticated transmitters, the receivers, the digital processing maybe, the antenna system.
All the wireless bits.
Exactly. And you're right to bring up the total cost. While the initial price tag for wireless is higher, you should consider the total cost of ownership. That includes ongoing battery expenses unless you invest upfront in rechargeable systems and charging stations. And for really large-scale events, you might even be paying for a dedicated frequency coordinator, someone whose job it is to make sure all the wireless units play nicely together. That's another potential cost.
Right, more complex setups have hidden costs.
Definitely. So think about a small band, just starting out, maybe preparing for their first concert on a tight budget. While that freedom of moving around stage is super tempting, opting for high-quality wired microphones might actually allow for excellent sound quality without breaking the bank, leaving funds for other essential gear like monitors or maybe some lights.
Practical choice.
Yeah. On the other hand, for larger venues, professional events, big theater productions, places where mobility is absolutely paramount, and you need multiple microphones without creating a tripping hazard with tangled cables, well, then the investment in wireless mics is often totally justified, even essential.
So it really depends on the scale and the needs.
Yeah.
Any smart, practical tips for managing these cost differences?
Yes, Rodrigo's article gives some excellent advice here. First, always set a clear budget before you start shopping. Really consider the long-term benefits and costs of each option for your specific use case. If you are going wireless, look for bundled deals or packages. Sometimes buying multiple units together saves money.
Good tip.
Alternatively, if you only need wireless for very specific, maybe infrequent events, renting them can be a really cost-effective solution.
Oh, renting. Didn't think of that.
Yeah, especially if they aren't something you'll use regularly. Why buy if you can rent for that one big gig?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the decision needs to align perfectly with your specific needs, your environment, and of course, your financial resources, ensuring both quality and practicality meet your requirements. So after this deep dive into Rodrigo Marquez's insights from Home Studio Start, wow, it's incredibly clear. There's just no single best microphone out there, is there?
Not really, no.
The optimal choice truly hinges on your individual needs and your unique circumstances.
Exactly. To just quickly recap the core strengths, wireless microphones, they offer that unparalleled freedom and mobility, ideal for dynamic stage performances, fitness instructors, public speakers, anyone who needs to move and interact without being tied down.
Mm-hmm.
Wired microphones, on the flip side, offer that steadfast, reliable connection, with consistently superior sound quality often being the key benefit. That makes them the undisputed go-to for studio recordings. And really, any setting where pristine audio fidelity is absolutely paramount.
Right. The article encourages you, the listener, to actually test both options if you can. Explore products firsthand, get a feel for them. But here's a final thought, maybe building on that.
Yeah.
Beyond just choosing one over the other, what if the real innovation lies in creatively combining these technologies?
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. How could you leverage the distinct strengths of both wireless and wired systems? Maybe, I don't know, a main vocal on a reliable wired mic, but a wireless mic for backup or for roaming out into the audience. How could you create a truly unique and powerful audio setup for your specific purpose using both?
That's a great challenge.
Something to mull over as you explore and amplify your sound experience.